This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill, too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Bringing your business dreams to life takes heart and about 1,000 decisions a day. That's why Atlantic Union Bank's knowledgeable bankers are here for you with the right guidance and customized solutions to help you reach your business goals. So whether you're planning your next move, upgrading your space, or scaling to meet demand, we make sure your business is ready for what's ahead because we're big enough to support you, yet small enough to know you. Atlantic Union Bank. Any way you bank.
Doors closing.
Morning, Allie.
Good morning, Mason.
If anyone asks, this is not haunted. Not anymore.
See, statements like that don't reassure me.
If someone leads with not haunted, it's haunted. That's just math.
So who moves a painting at 3 a.m?
People who don't want it following them in daylight?
Why would you say that?
Because you love it. You live for this spooky nonsense.
I tolerate it. I prefer when things don't have opinions about me from inside a frame.
Please, if a ghost ever tried to haunt you, you just ask it to fill out a guest satisfaction survey.
I believe in accountability, even for the dead.
This is Tales from the Blue Line by Auditory Anthology.
Speaking of the dead, kind of, I've got a story about a train operator who kept seeing a woman on his route. Same time, same stop, same seat.
Okay, and what makes that weird? Lots of people ride at the same time every day, like us.
True, but she always vanished before the next stop, and she never showed up on the security footage.
Oh, nope, absolutely not.
Yep, it's one of those stories.
You walk in tired and hungry, one bad dinner away from losing it. You don't like to cook. You don't want more takeout. You just want something good. That's why there's Dish by Blue Apron. Pre-made meals with at least 20 grams of protein and no artificial flavors or colors. From fridge to fork in 5 minutes or less. Keep the flavor. Ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Eli Torres liked the night shift. Most train operators dreaded it. The long stretches of empty track, the unpredictable commuters, the occasional 3 a.m. performance artists who used the cars for interpretive dance rehearsals. But Eli appreciated the rhythm of it. The Blue Line at night wasn't quiet so much as honest. There was no rush hour chaos, no cranky office workers demanding exact ETAs, no sea of earbuds and suit jackets, just the hum of rails, the glow of tunnel lights, and the same handful of regulars who rode like clockwork. He could name them all without ever speaking to them. The nurse who always fell asleep before Western, the guy with 6 grocery bags but only 1 actual food item, the airport employee whose rolling suitcase squeaked like a distressed rodent, the law student who highlighted textbooks with the intensity of a crime scene artist. Eli liked these people. They made the city feel smaller, more human. Around 1:15 a.m., just past the Western stop, he eased the train forward, hand resting lightly on the throttle. He glanced in the mirror on instinct. Operators were trained to watch for movement, trouble, anything unusual. That was when he saw her. A woman standing alone on the Western platform. Dark pea coat, wool hat pulled low, hands folded neatly in front of her, still as a statue. Eli frowned. Hadn't the platform been empty a second ago? When the doors opened, she stepped inside without hesitation. No phone, no luggage, no hesitation about the late hour. She took a seat near the middle of the car, the one that always had the best heater, the one every regular silently fought for in winter. For a moment, Eli thought she might be a new night shift commuter. But something felt off. She didn't scroll her phone. She didn't adjust her coat. She didn't even look around. She just stared straight ahead, calm as calm could be. Eli pulled out of the station, shrugging it off. People rode the Blue Line at stranger hours than this. He once had a guy board with 2 live chickens and a birthday cake. A quiet woman in a pea coat? Nothing unusual there. But as he checked the mirror again, just a quick glance, he blinked. The seat where the woman had been sitting was empty. Completely empty. Eli leaned closer, scanning the car. No movement, no shadow, no shifting silhouette. She was gone. He rubbed his eyes, told himself he must have missed her walking to another car, told himself it was fatigue, told himself anything except the truth he felt deep in his chest. That woman had vanished before the next stop. Eli kept checking the mirror long after she disappeared, half expecting her to pop up again like a glitch correcting itself. Nothing. The car was empty, except for a forgotten scarf on the far seat and a newspaper from last Tuesday. He made a mental note to remind the cleaning crew. When the train rolled into the next station, Damon, he leaned slightly to the side to look down the full length of the platform. If she'd moved cars, he'd see her stepping out. But no one exited. No one entered, and the seat where she'd been sitting stayed stubbornly empty. He frowned and tapped the dashboard. Fatigue. It had to be fatigue. The overnight shift messed with everyone eventually. Gave you phantom shadows, phantom footsteps, phantom thoughts. Eli pulled out of Damon and tried to focus on the tracks ahead. Still, a part of him couldn't shake the image. That pea coat, those still hands, the way she stepped on like she belonged there. A few minutes later, curiosity got the better of him. Operators weren't supposed to leave the cab mid-run, but protocol was flexible at 1:30 a.m. on a near-empty train. He slid the window open slightly and called out down the car, "Ma'am, you need help finding your stop?" His voice echoed back to him, bouncing off plastic seats and metal poles. No answer. "Anyone back there?" Silence. He closed the window again. "Probably hopped cars," he muttered to himself. "Passengers do weird stuff." And that was true. He'd once watched a guy eat an entire rotisserie chicken in 3 stops. He'd seen a teenager bring a canoe onto the train. He had driven a full mile before noticing a toddler calmly holding a pigeon like it was a therapy animal. People were odd. People disappeared to new seats. People walked between cars when they shouldn't. Except the inner car doors were locked tonight. Maintenance issue. He'd closed them himself. Eli's grip tightened on the throttle as the train drifted into the next station. He checked the mirror again. No woman, no motion, just the reflection of empty seats sliding backward as the lights passed over them. He exhaled, long and slow. "All right, Torres, you imagined it. Easy fix." But the moment he said it, a chill ran down the back of his neck, the unmistakable sensation of being watched. He turned abruptly, but the cabin behind him held nothing but the faint hum of the electric heaters. A few seconds later, the radio crackled to life. "Operator 243, you're clear through division. No unusual traffic tonight." Eli stared into the mirror one last time. "Copy," he said. "Everything's normal." He didn't believe that for a second. The next night, Eli told himself he wasn't looking for her. He told himself he wasn't checking the western platform 3 separate times before pulling in. He told himself he wasn't sitting up straighter, hand hovering over the brake like he expected something. He told himself all this, and he believed none of it. As the train coasted toward Western, he caught movement in the mirror. A lone figure on the platform. Dark pea coat, hands folded, head slightly bowed as if listening to something he couldn't hear. Eli swallowed. When the doors opened, she stepped inside. Same seat, same posture, same unblinking calm. He kept his eyes on the mirror this time. He didn't blink, he didn't shift. He watched her reflection until his eyes watered. And the moment the train passed under the bridge's shadow, she was gone. Just gone. The seat was empty again, like a clip missing from the film. "Okay," he whispered. "Nope, no, absolutely not." He hit the radio. "Control, this is 243. Any, reports of passengers moving between cars?" "Negative 243. A pause. "Everything good?" Eli considered answering honestly. He really did. But how do you explain that a woman boarded your train twice and vanished at the exact same moment with the exact same stillness, like someone wrote her out of the scene? "Yeah," he said finally. "Just checking. All good." He hung up and leaned back. But it didn't stop. Night after night, the same thing happened. Same time. Same stop. Same seat. Same disappearance. Sometimes he tried calling out to her. "Ma'am, you okay back there? Need any help finding your stop? Miss?" But her head never turned. Not until the fourth night. That night something changed. As the train approached Damon, he saw her reflection in the mirror tilt just slightly, as if she had heard him. He froze. Her gaze lifted, not at him, but toward the front of the train, straight down the aisle, toward the operator's cab. Just a fraction of a second, just enough to confirm she had heard him. Eli's breath caught. When he blinked, she was gone again. He checked the empty car, gripping the edge of the console until his knuckles went white. "Right," he muttered. "Okay, not imagining it, definitely not imagining it." But if she wasn't a hallucination, then who or what was riding his train every night? By the end of the week, Eli had developed a habit he wasn't proud of. He'd slow the train just a little as he approached Western. Not enough to break schedule. Dispatch monitored that stuff, but enough to give himself a moment. A moment to see whether she'd be there. And she always was. Same pea coat, same posture, same silent steps onto his train, like she existed only in that slice of time between stations. After the seventh night, Eli had had enough. When his shift ended at 7 a.m., he headed straight to the supervisor's office. He found Wally, a man who drank 6 cups of coffee before sunrise and looked perpetually unimpressed, scrolling through last night's footage. "Wally," Eli said, trying to sound casual, "you ever notice anything weird on the Western platform?" Wally didn't look up. "Define weird." "You know, like people disappearing?" Wally sipped his coffee. "This is the night shift, Eli. People disappear all the time. Mostly to the bathroom, usually for too long." "No, I mean literally disappearing, like poof." Wally finally looked at him, slowly, suspiciously. "Are you getting enough sleep?" "I'm serious," Eli said. "Check the footage from 115. There's a woman who boards my train. She's there, then she's gone." Wally sighed, clicked a few keys, and pulled up the feed. They watched the timestamp. 1:14:55, empty platform. 1:15, empty. 1:15:05, Eli's train pulling in. No woman, no silhouette, no footsteps. "See," Wally said, "empty. You're chasing shadows, man." "No," Eli insisted. "She gets on every night." Wally raised an eyebrow. "Then maybe she's camera-shy in the metaphysical sense." Wally? Go home, Eli. At 6 p.m., during the operator briefing, he tried again. Anybody ever have a rider vanish on them between stops? His co-worker Deshaun snorted. Yeah, usually after they break open that fourth Modelo. Miriam, who had driven the Blue Line since pagers were a thing, shrugged. Lost a whole bachelor party once. They jumped cars like squirrels, but vanish? Not unless gravity took the night off. Eli stared. Okay, never mind. Everything good with you, Torres? Deshaun asked. Yep, totally, great, fine, fantastic. He was definitely not fine. That night, Eli decided to go old school, talk to her again. As she boarded at Western, he cleared his throat and spoke through the cracked cab window. Hey, if you need anything, or if you're lost, or if you're trying to get somewhere specific. For a moment she didn't react, just stared ahead. Then just before the train dipped into the tunnel, her head turned half an inch, barely enough to be called turning, but enough that he knew she had heard him. Eli's skin prickled. He said softly, Where are you trying to go? She blinked once, a tiny, tired motion. Then in a voice barely louder than a whisper, she said, I missed my stop. And just like that, she vanished again. Eli felt ice creep down his spine. Missed your stop, he repeated to himself. What stop? But he knew the real question was worse. When? Eli didn't sleep after hearing her speak. He tried. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling, listening to the faint rumble of distant trains, replaying that whisper again and again. I missed my stop. But the more he thought about it, the more one question gnawed at him. What stop? Not which stop. When? By the next night, curiosity had chewed a hole straight through his patience. During the shift briefing, he cornered Miriam, the operator who'd been driving trains since the days before touchscreens, back when the CTA had character that was mostly made of asbestos and bad decisions. Miriam, he said, you ever heard about, I don't know, an old platform near Western, something before the remodel? She gave him a long, steady look. You trying to spook yourself, Torres? No, I keep seeing someone there. Miriam sighed, rubbing her forehead. I swear, every few years, someone brings this up. Brings what up? Western used to have a second platform, she said, back when the Blue Line looked like something found behind a blockbuster. They sealed it off in the 80s. Why? She shrugged. Maintenance, budget cuts, who knows? But there was one thing, an accident before my time. What kind of accident? Miriam hesitated, lowering her voice. A woman fell between the cars during a snowstorm. They didn't talk about it much. Bad PR. Eli's throat tightened. Do you know anything else? Miriam shook her head. Just that, after it happened, people said they saw someone walking the old platform. Cops checked, maintenance checked, CTA checked, nothing. Eventually, they bricked the whole thing up. She gave him a wry smile. And now you're seeing a lady in a pea coat at Western this month? He nodded once. Miriam sighed. Figures. It's always cold when she shows up. After his shift, Eli sat at his kitchen table with a mug of lukewarm coffee and typed Western Station Accident into a search bar. Nothing. Not at first. But after a few deeper searches, buried in the early internet, in an archive that looked like it had been designed on a computer that still made dial-up noises, he found it. Commuter injured in Blue Line incident, January 1983. The article was barely 2 paragraphs long. CTA spokespeople could not comment. Weather played a role. The injured passenger later died. No name given. But the photo, that grainy black and white image, a woman in a dark coat, a wool hat, calm expression, hands folded neatly, just like she sat on Eli's train. He leaned closer until the pixels blurred. It was her. Had to be her. Eli pushed back from the table, pulse thudding. If the photo was right, if the timeline fit, if Miriam was telling the truth, then the woman wasn't trying to get home. She wasn't confused. She wasn't lost. She was still trying to reach the stop she missed that night in 1983. A stop that didn't exist anymore. A stop whose old platform had been bricked over. A stop frozen in time she could no longer reach, unless someone brought the train to her. Eli closed the laptop slowly. If she needed a stop that didn't exist, then maybe he could take her there. Snow fell in fat, drifting flakes the next night, the kind of snow that muffled the city into something quiet and unfamiliar. Eli's train rolled out of the yard slow and steady, headlights carving through the white haze like a ship pushing through fog. He knew she'd be there. He felt it in his chest long before he saw the platform. As he approached Western, he caught the familiar silhouette through the swirling snow. Dark pea coat, wool hat, hands folded. Waiting. Not for a train. For him. Eli eased the throttle, pulling in smoother than he had in years. The doors slid open with a soft hiss, and the woman stepped inside without lifting her gaze. But something was different tonight. She didn't sit in her usual spot. She walked down the length of the car, each step barely disturbing the snowflakes clinging to her coat. She stopped near the front, close enough that Eli could see her reflection in the cab glass. He kept his voice low. "You know where you want to go?" For a long second, she didn't move. Then she looked up, directly at him, eyes calm, deep, and impossibly tired. "Next stop," she whispered. Eli nodded. "Okay." He closed the cab window and took a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. Technically, this wasn't allowed. Technically, he was about to take the blue line somewhere it wasn't supposed to go. But the dead don't follow CTA protocols. He eased the throttle forward. The train slid into the tunnel, lights flickering as the power dipped for a moment, then dipped again. Eli frowned. "Come on, old girl," he muttered to the train. "Just once, work with me." The lights fluttered, then steadied. Outside the window, the normal concrete tunnel gave way to darkness. Not shadows. Absence. The train slowed, not because Eli braked, but because something ahead seemed to pull it earthward, guiding it, calling it. And then, impossibly, the tunnel opened onto a platform. Silent, dusty, covered in a thin sheet of frost that shimmered blue under the headlights. The old station name was barely visible beneath decades of grime, the one from the 1983 article. Eli's breath fogged the cab window. He opened the doors. The woman stepped off without hesitation, boots crunching lightly on frost. She paused, turned back toward him. For the first time, she smiled. Small, warm, grateful. Then she walked forward into the frost-covered platform, growing dimmer, dimmer, until she dissolved into the drifting snow. Eli sat frozen, hands on the controls, heart hammering. He whispered, "Safe travels." When he blinked, the platform was gone. Just concrete, lights, normal tunnel, as if nothing had happened. And the train, somehow, was still right on schedule.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Hey, girl, what's happening? Is that your antiperspirant?
Yeah.
Let me see that can. Aluminum butane. I cannot pronounce that. You have to switch to Native deodorant. Native Simple Formula has only clean ingredients. It gives you effective 72-hour odor protection with no hydrocarbon propellants.
Wow, this smells heavenly.
Clean, effective 72-hour odor protection isn't a myth.
It's Native.
And after that night, she never showed up again. But every time Eli saw a snowfall, he checked the mirrors, just in case.
Okay, that's actually kind of sweet, like a commuter romance, but with more existential dread.
That's Chicago for you.
I do love that the ghost was polite, just taking her seat, doing her thing, not screaming or flying around or asking for spare change for the afterlife.
Honestly, ideal writer. Didn't bother anyone, didn't play TikToks out loud.
Way scarier than ghosts. People watch horror clips at full volume at 3 in the morning.
See? That. Ghosts don't do that.
You know, I'm going to think about your Phantom Rider every time we pass Western now.
Just wave. If she's still around, she'll wave back.
Don't say things like that. I have to sleep eventually.
Relax. If a ghost ever rides with us, maybe she can haunt that guy's slurping instead.
Tales from the Blue Line by Auditory Anthology is written and produced by me, Keith Conrad. Your narrator is Darren Marlar. Be sure to check out Darren's award-winning paranormal podcast, Weird Darkness, available at weirddarkness.com and your podcast app of choice. If you have a story you'd like to contribute to this series, you can do so by visiting submissions.soundconceptmedia.com or just follow the link in the show notes. You can also support the show by subscribing to our new Substack at auditoryanthology.substack.com. By becoming a paid subscriber, you'll help keep the stories coming. You'll also get every single episode completely commercial-free, and now you can also vote on which story will feature in upcoming episodes.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
In postseason football, you need to find that extra gear. On FanDuel, it's called Playoff Mode. Big boosts, more rewards, and a whole new way to live parlay with Drive SGP. Turn on Playoff Mode, only on FanDuel.
New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. 21 plus and present in select states. First online real money wager only. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
When the flu is keeping you up at night, don't try to tough it out. Knock out your flu symptoms with NyQuil Intense Flu. You got this. It provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep well through the night. NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching, fever, best sleep with a flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.